All right, we just finished up the first problem, so let's now move on to the second problem here. 3x minus 5 equals 7. And let me get that taken care of. Let me erase this. And we have our steps on the right-hand side over here. Step 1, we want to add and subtract. Step 2, multiply and divide. And the third step, always check your work. Might as well check your work because you can guarantee if you have the right problem or not. So we have 3x minus 5 equals 7. We want to do step 1, which means we'll look to see if there's any adding or subtracting. You can look at this problem and see there's a minus 5, so the inverse of subtraction is addition. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides to balance the equation out. So I add 5 to one side, and I have to add 5 to the other side. So let's get this 4 straightened out. So I'm going to add, I hope to add 5. Now, let's try, there we go. So we're going to add 5 to both sides. Negative 5 and a positive 5, they're inverses of each other. We talked at the beginning here, inverses equal 0, so those cancel out, give you 0. A negative 5 and a positive 5, different signs, you subtract. 5 minus 5 is 0, so that's why they cancel out. So I drop down to 3x. 7 plus 5 is 12. So I'm taking care of step 1. Step 2, look for multiplication and division. We have multiplication, so the inverse of multiplication is division. So I divide each side by 3. The 3's cancel out. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So I can check my work now. So I'm going to go over here on the right-hand side, change the color, and do 3x minus 5 equals 7. A lot of you can do this in your head. You don't have to write it down, but I do encourage you to check your work just because you can guarantee if it's right or wrong. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 minus 5. 12 minus 5 equals 7. 7 equals 7, so that's correct, which means x equals 4 is your correct answer. So we take care of all 3 steps. Now, one thing I didn't do on the first problem is, let's go back and talk about the operations, or the problems or the steps that we did. We added 5 to each side, so that means we took and applied the addition property of equality. I'm going to call that 8. Down here, 3x equals 12, I divided each side, so we're going to say we applied the division property of equality. All right? What I want you to do is I want you to try these 4 problems. You'll notice 1, 2, and 4 have division in it. I'm going to do number 1 for you and then let you finish up with 2, 3, and 4. So on number 1, let me write down over here the steps. We're going to add and subtract first. Those are in the inverse operations. We're going to multiply and divide second. Those 2 are inverse operations. And then the third thing, we want to check our work. All right, so we always cancel out, use inverse operations with the numbers that are on the same side of the equal sign as the variable. Now, if you'll notice, the variable on this problem is on the right side of the equal sign. It works the same way. There's nothing different. So I always want to get rid of adding and subtracting first if it's in the problem. So I have, let me erase that. I have a over 4, which is division plus 2. I do have addition, the opposite of addition, the inverse of addition is subtraction, so I'm going to subtract 2, which means I balance it out, do the same thing on the other side. Now, as it works this one, I'm also going to talk about the properties. So when I cancel out that positive 2 by subtracting 2, I'm applying the addition property of equality. 2 minus 2 is 0, it cancels out, that leaves a divided by 4 equals 6 minus 2 is 4. Now, in this part of the problem, we have the division. Here's the division bar right here. The opposite of division, I've already added subtract, so let's go to the second step, division. The opposite of that is multiplication. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply each side by 4. Now, a lot of times students don't understand how this cancels out. Because remember, when you multiply and divide, it has to equal 1 whole. Think about this as a fraction, a over 4 times 4. As a fraction, that would be 4 over 1. These 2 4's cancel out. A lot of times students just write it as 4 and then cancel that. Just know that they cancel out. And so when that cancels out, this a is by itself because we don't need to worry about that 1. So it leaves the a here. 4 times 4 is 16. So when I multiply each side by 4, I use the multiplication property of equality. So in our answer, a equals 16. Let's check to see if it works. So I take the original problem, and I'm going to substitute everything in, or substitute the value of a in. A equals 16. 16 divided by 4 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6, so that does work out. I didn't show all my steps to check, but I just did it real quick in my head, and that's perfectly fine. So I applied the second step, and then I check my work. So what I want you to do is, if you will, do number 2, show your work. Number 3, show your work. Number 4, show your work. And if you will also write the particular properties that you use. All right. I want you to try this one. So I'm going to put a little star here. These are the ones I want you to do. All right. This one works no differently. It just has decimals in it. All right. Now, in this particular problem, we're going to name the properties that are used in each step. So here's the original problem. Okay. If I scroll down, in blue has what we did to each side. There's a minus 3.75. If I add 3.75 to both sides, I have used the addition, and I'm going to just abbreviate it, property of equality. And I have referred that to as a addition property of equality. When I add 3.75 to both sides, and you'll notice I've written this horizontally straight across. That's perfectly fine. Some of you like to write it vertically up and down. This cancels out, so that leaves 5b equals 30. The next thing, we have 5 times b is multiplication. The opposite of that, or the inverse of that, is division. So I divide each side by 5. So at this step, I have used the division property of equality. And so sometimes I'll usually just write DPE, division property of equality. And when I divide each side by 5, that gives me an answer of B equals 6. And if you check your work, you would see that B does equal 6. All right. Let me go back to this previous problem real quick. As you'll notice, this is the same problem that's on the previous screen. Okay, so you can check your work here with what was on the previous screen and what you did. All right, you'll work this one, please. So I'm going to put a star here, and if you will, work this problem.